The chair recognizes the gentlelady from Ohio, Ms. Kaptur, for 5 minutes.
I thank the gentleman and rise to engage in a colloquy with my very able colleague from Florida, Congressman Dennis Ross. And perhaps as we begin, we can welcome into our midst the very able ambassador from Hungary to the United States, Ms. Reka Shemerkenyi.
Welcome.
Thank her. I'd like to yield the gentleman such time as he may consume.
Thank you. Thank you, my good friend from Ohio, Ms. Kaptur, for yielding. And I do wish to say hello to our good friend from Hungary, Ambassador Rika. And I am grateful, quite frankly, to have this opportunity, Mr. Speaker, as I rise today to recognize the 60th anniversary of the Hungarian Revolution and freedom fight. 60 years ago, this October, Hungary stood tall in the shadows of communism and said, "Elég volt," enough is enough. Hungarian school children and college students took up arms against the totalitarian government and its Soviet policies. On October 23, 1956, approximately 20,000 protesters convened next to the statue of General Josef Ben, a national hero of Hungary. Despite orders to disband, protesters tore down a 30-foot bronze statue of Stalin near the city's Hero Square. The following morning, power was consolidated and a new multi-party government was formed. The revolution spread like wildfire throughout the countryside. On November 1st, Prime Minister Imre Nagy announced Hungary's withdrawal from the Warsaw Pact and Declaration of Neutrality. Embarrassed by the uprising, the USSR sent Soviet tanks and troops across the Hungarian border. Unfortunately, thousands of Hungarian civilians were killed, and the communist-backed government in Budapest was reinstalled. In the months that followed the revolution, more than 20,000 Hungarians were imprisoned, 229 were executed, and more than 200,000 were forced to flee the world, across the world. Many of the Hungarians, named 56ers because of the year that this happened, sought new lives in the United States with the help of Hungarian Americans, many of whom live in my good friend Ms. Kaptur's district. My own parents were married in the Hungarian Catholic Church, St. Emmerich, also located in Ms. Kaptur's district. And as a child and grandchild of Hungarian Americans who helped 56ers, I'm honored to sponsor this resolution with my good friend from Ohio in commemoration of the 60th anniversary of the 1956 Hungarian Revolution. I'd like to thank my Hungarian American Caucus co-chair, Ms. Kaptur, Andy Harris, and David Joyce. And with that, I yield back to my good friend from Ohio, and thank you.
I thank the gentleman for organizing this event this morning, and wish to also say that the 1956 Hungarian Revolution was a breakpoint, historical event that marked a turning point in the Cold War. It took great courage by those who participated during that unforgettable period as freedom fighters in Budapest and across that country stood tall in opposition to the communist-installed Hungarian people's false government and its Soviet-imposed repression. You can travel to Hungary, to Budapest today. You can see the bullet holes and the tank markings in some of the old buildings in that country. And we know over 2,500 Hungarians died, 20,000 were imprisoned, and over 200,000 more fled as refugees. And Congressman Ross has referenced certain individuals in my own region. Some of those refugees came to Ohio, including men like Reverend Martin Hernati, who ministered his entire life in Ohio, serving the Hungarian diaspora, and the Uvagi family of Toledo, whose compassion, patriotism, and genius have meant so much to our community and to me personally. In October and November 1956, the country at the heart of the European continent underwent 3 weeks of political turmoil that shook the region and exposed the ideological fissures behind the Iron Curtain. In the movie Torn from the Flag, I recommend to all of our colleagues that gives people living today a sense of what happened during that fateful period. During the 60th anniversary of the 1956 revolution and its freedom fight, we commemorate tens of thousands of Hungarians who took to the streets to protest the heavy-handed invasion by the Soviet Union. Their heroism is legendary, and it made a difference in world history. They showed a united front and one that called upon their government to promote democratic ideals and unification. And this moment in time was encapsulated in a statement by the then director of the Hungarian news agency just before his untimely death in the revolution. He said, "We are going to die for Hungary and for Europe." In the years since the 1956 revolution, Hungary has made progress toward democratic reforms and has since become a member of the European Union and NATO. and its award of Nobel Prizes in every single scientific and cultural field is a testimony to the talent and to the abilities of the people of that country. And so, like you, Congressman Ross, as co-chair of the Hungarian caucus, I remain dedicated to continuing channels of cooperation to further these efforts and to ensure that the principles of the 1956 revolution are fully realized. I think the Partnership for Peace initiative between our respective militaries is a foundation stone to build our continuing relationship forward and support the revolution, recognizing this important moment in world history in the 20th century. May I say, long live liberty and long live Hungary.
Thank you.
I thank the gentleman, all the members of our Hungarian caucus, and again thank the ambassador from Hungary for being here with us today, and all of our colleagues for listening. We yield back our remaining time.
Thank you.
Chair